Okay, I think we're here. Uh, Anybody who's out there watching, if you could tell us if you could hear me, that would be great. I think I've gotten. It's been a while, so now I have to remember how to do all this. So if anybody's there, if you can hear, if you could just say that you can hear, that would be great. It is, what day is it? Wednesday, 10:45. It is going to be a flow class, but a gentle flow class today. Easy. Because after being on a plane twice, getting out of the habit. So I'll keep looking up here and making sure that you can hear. Somebody says hello. Can you hear me then? Can you hear me out there? Make sure my mic is working. Good. I'm hoping that everybody can hear. I think we're okay here. All right, we're going to start. So start to get comfortable, whether you're sitting up in a chair, which is fine. If anybody is going for a more gentle class with a chair to sit on, by all means do. And if you want to sit on a blanket, get comfortable, whether you're at home or here in the studio. And just close your eyes. Let yourself release your chin down a little bit towards your chest. Let yourself release there, the back of the neck. Release into feeling your breath now. On your next inhale, go ahead and bring your gaze on back forward with your eyes gently closed. And start to feel and enjoy your breath in and out through your nose. Bringing your breath into the belly, into the ribs, maybe even all the way up into your chest, coming into those deeper breaths. And then start to move a little bit with your breath, letting your exhalations bring you forward with a nice long back, and your inhales bring you on back up. So take your time as you move forward and back. Feel the breath moving you. Letting your exhales bring you forward and your inhales bring you back up. And then the next time you come forward, let yourself stay forward. So, you can walk farther out with your hands, fold a little more over your legs. Same thing if you're in your chair. You can separate your feet a little bit and come on forward. Just be easy. Take your time. Let your head release if you can so that you have no tension there in the neck. Let go through your jaw and your face. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves on back up. Let yourself come all the way back up, releasing your arms on out beside you here now. Let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And let the exhale bring your hands right down through the midline to rest in front of your chest, in front of your heart. And then slide your hands over to the right, in front of your right shoulder. Tilt your head to the left. Let your left ear come towards your left shoulder, releasing through the side of the neck. And then we'll come on back into center and up to the top with your head, and we'll go the other way. Just releasing now through the side of the neck. And then coming on back into center. Now, clasp your hands here. Really interlace your fingers. Squeeze your palms together here. Feel that connection through the hands, but also just waking up into the arms, the shoulders a little bit. And then start to turn the palms away from your chest as you press forward into the hands, into the heels of your hands. And we'll inhale the hands up a little higher, depending on you how high, how your shoulders feel. So coming either directly above your head with your hands or forward, doesn't matter. And then we'll come over to the left. Let yourself breathe into that right side that you're stretching. And then we'll make our way back to center, and we'll go the other way. So pressing into the heel of the left hand, feeling that openness through the left side of the body. And then we'll come on back up to the top. If you're able to look up, do. If it bothers your neck, don't. But if it feels really good to open up through the throat a little bit there, do. And then we'll release the hands, releasing the arms on down beside us here. And now come behind yourself, whether you drape your arms over your chair or you bring your hands onto the floor, whether it's fingertips or flat hands. Opening up here through the chest, releasing. And look wherever feels good for your head. You know, you may want to look more forward, or you may want to look up. And we're going to come on back up. If you are cross-legged on the floor, let's switch the cross of the legs. Bring your other leg in front here now. And then get easy in the way you're sitting. We're going to breathe again, coming forward and back with the breath, letting the exhales bring us forward. And the inhales bring us back up. So, you know, it's fine to adjust your legs. If you start moving and you don't feel quite right, just go ahead and readjust. And again, let the breath carry you forward and back. Exhales bringing you forward. Inhales bringing you back up. And the next time you come forward, again, we're going to stay forward, and it depends on you whether you stay with that long back and don't go very far, or maybe you want to go a little bit farther forward. Take your time. Still coming forward from the low back, but it's fine to go ahead and release into a little bit of a fold more in the upper back if that feels okay to you. And then we're going to slowly walk ourselves on back up. Bringing our arms on out again beside us. If you're on the floor, fingertips lightly touching the floor. Let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And let our exhale bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. And then we'll reverse and inhale the hands right up through the midline. And on the exhale, open our arms on back out and down. And inhaling here, we're going to take a twist to the left. As you exhale, bring your right hand on around, whether it's to the midline or across to that left knee. And let yourself turn the head as far as you like to look towards the side or maybe even a little more behind you. Feel your right sit bone drawing down towards the floor and engage your low belly. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we'll come on back around through center. We're going to go all the way around into the other direction. So again, coming on around with your gaze wherever feels good for your neck. Feel that left sit bone in particular drawing down so you keep your hips square towards the front of your mat. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we'll come on back around into center. And again, bringing your hands behind you, whether you stay up on fingertips or you go flat to your hands. Think of your chest coming forward on that diagonal line, like you're reaching up towards where the wall meets the ceiling, really. One more breath. And then we'll release to come on back up. Shake your hands out a little bit. Circle through your wrist. Open and close your hands a little bit. And if you're on the floor, stretch your legs out and move through your feet and your ankles. Same thing if you're in your chair. You don't have to come straight-legged, but you can just stretch your legs out a little bit. Move through your feet, your ankles. And we're going to come on around towards our hands and knees or hands up on the seat of the chair. So You can turn the chair around. And if you're on the floor, just be mindful of how you have your hands there under your shoulders. And if you need to, go right ahead and go on to fist so you don't have that crease in your wrist. And let's move through our cat-cows. So letting yourself feel your inhales bring you up into your cat. Feeling your exhales draw you up into cat pose. So take your time. If you want to move really, really slowly, do. If you feel like moving a little faster, that's fine too. Just following your breath. And then we'll finish off the one we're on. Come back to more neutral spine. And then just look over your right shoulder. And if you're on the floor, you can send your feet a little to the right too if you want. Just adding a little more there in the side waist. And then come on back in the center and we'll look over our left shoulder. And again, if you're on the floor, you can send your feet over to the left too. Coming into a little more stretch there through the side waist. And then we'll come on back into center. And we're going to bring our left foot forward and find a lunge. You know you're welcome to use blocks, floor, whatever works for you. Stepping your left foot forward and your right foot back. Find the height that feels good for you if you're using your blocks. Feel as you look back at that right foot and feel the heel reaching directly behind your foot. Then bring your gaze on down. Bringing your back of your head into line with your spine if you can. Press the feet gently away from each other, engaging the belly. Good. And we're going to switch and go to the other side. So again, take your time here now. Feel that sense of pressing the feet away from each other. Good. And let's switch again. So bringing that left foot forward, finding that lunge. Now, this time, if you can, come into a straighter left knee. Let yourself extend your torso out over that front left, the inside of the thigh, really. Imagine extending your body out long. And let that right heel descend towards the mat directly behind your foot. So you're not coming inward. You're really reaching back to get into the calf deeply there. And then we'll bend that front knee. Coming on back into lunge. And we're going to switch again to right foot forward. So again, as you find that lunge here now, get really comfortable in your length of your stance, straightening that front knee. And again, let yourself feel the left heel just descending towards the mat, directly back. Extend your torso out over that front leg. And then we'll bend the front knee again to find lunge. And we'll step forward now, coming on into standing forward bend. Feet hips distance apart and parallel. Use whatever support you need. Remember, hands can be on the blocks or the chair. You can put your forearms onto your chair seat or your elbows above your knees. Let your head release a little bit, maybe even nod. Shake your head a little, whatever feels good to feel that weight of your head. And then just make sure that you're not shifting your weight back behind you so that you feel the sense of your sit bones being right, over your heels so that you're not letting your weight shift backward. Full deep breaths. Feel those ribs expand as you inhale. Let your jaw go. Let your face soften. One more full deep breath. And then we'll bring our hands to our hips. We're going to bend our knees and rise up to standing and inhale the arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. So finding your mountain pose, getting yourself really grounded equally through your feet, whatever you need to do here. You know that. You can bend your knees, Let yourself feel that sense of getting equal now between your feet as you bring your gaze forward, whether your eyes are opened or closed. And just release now. Feel the sense of stacking up. Feeling that sense of really the hips coming over your ankles. And then think about your shoulders being over your hips, stacking yourself up like blocks, really. And just enjoy coming at strength of standing in your mountain pose. And let's unfold our arms on down beside us. Float your arms just a breath away from you. Turn your palms forward now and reach down through your fingertips so you feel even more space between your ears and your shoulders. It's like you're standing between two panes of glass, one in front of you and one behind you. So you feel very balanced and very equal between the front and the back of your body and the right and the left sides of your body. And on the next inhale, we'll float the arms all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, bend your knees as you come forward into that standing forward bend. Let your next inhale help you find a nice long back. Lengthen out wherever you like your hands to be. And we'll step the right foot back and come into lunge. Draw your shoulders down now. Press your feet away from each other. Inhale. Exhale into downward facing dog pose. So coming into your first down dog, be mindful. Walk if you need to walk. Bend both your knees if that helps you get into your dog. Spread your fingers wide and feel your elbows hugging gently towards each other. Really feel the whole body here in your down dog. Let your next inhale bring you out to plank. Remember, your hands can be on blocks or a chair or on the floor. That's up to you. If you are on the floor, let's lower down. Knees first if you need. And we'll come into a little cobra. Come on up with the chest. Let yourself float your hands up a little bit if you're on the floor here. If you want to go ahead and press higher, you can, or you can stay down low. And then we'll make our way on back down. We're going to come on back into down dog. So however you choose to get there. Feel the hands equal in the floor, on the chair, on the blocks. And we'll bring our right foot forward to find lunge. And you know you can put your left knee down if you need to get there. And then we'll come on back into standing forward bend. So feet again, hips distance apart. Parallel. See if you can lift your toes up. Really let your toes come up. Feel that sense of the base of the big toe mound, the base of the little toe mound into the mat equally. Spread your toes out a little bit, even if you need to use your hands to help you. You can even kind of massage your toes a little. Give them a little massage and separate them a little bit if your hands can get there. And then releasing the toes on back down. Full deep breaths. If you like holding your elbows, do. If you need support under your arms, use it, or your hands. And then we'll bring our hands back up to our hips, bend our knees. We're going to rise on up to standing and inhale the arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. And then unfold your arms. Clasp your hands behind you here now. And just for a second, let the hands rest gently, wherever they come to there, on your sacrum or wherever that feels comfortable for you. And then just an inhale, bring the hands a little bit away from you. And as you exhale, let the hands come back down. So on your inhales, you'll let your hands, your arms float a little back. And then as you exhale, bring them back. A couple of more times. Just letting yourself feel your shoulders, your arms. Inhaling the hands away. Exhaling back down. And then the next time that you exhale the hands back, take a nice inhale, leaving the hands. And as you exhale, bend your knees and come forward. Now flat back to where you're parallel to the floor. Keep your hands down on your back there, clasped. Reach back through your tailbone. Find that nice sense of really finding a flat tabletop back. One more breath. And on the next exhale, go ahead if you can, fold more forward. Don't do it if it's too much. You may even want to let your arms come off your back again and your hands come away from you. That depends on your shoulders. One more breath. And then we'll release the arms on down. Let your next inhale help you find a flat back. And this time, left foot steps back to come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your downward facing dog pose again. So again, you can use blocks, you can use the floor. Really be mindful of walking if you need to walk, or finding your elbows bent a little bit towards each other if that feels better in your shoulders. Whatever height you want your hands to be. And on the next inhale, we'll come on out to that plank again. So take your time here. You know, you can do little push-ups if you want. Totally up to you. You can stay in your plank. And then if you're on the floor, you can put your knees down if you want. We're going to come down all the way. Then we'll come back again to that cobra, either staying very low or pressing into your hands and coming up higher, elbows hugging in. That's up to you. And then we'll come back down. We're going to make our way back to down dog. So you can come back through a half or a full push-up. Make your way back into dog again. And we'll bring our left foot forward to come into lunge. And then we'll come all the way back into our standing forward bend. Full deep breaths. Go right to your breath. If you like your hands to hold your elbows, you can. If you know you need support, use support. One more breath. And then we'll bend our knees, press into our feet. We're going to rise on up and inhale the arms all the way out and up. And on the exhale, bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. And now press out right into the heels of the hands, straight out from your shoulders, the letter T. Think about the letter T, right? And then bringing your left arm on top of your right, give yourself a hug, coming into either half eagle or eagle wrap, right? You don't have to do anything but hug if you choose. You can come into sliding the back of your right hand to the outside of your left elbow, or you can come into your full wrap. And now see if you can bend your knees just a little bit, press into your feet equally. And just enjoy. You feel your quads just a little. And then release the elbows down, the arms on down, and unwind. We'll inhale the hands straight back out, flex through your hands again. And we'll bring the right arm on top of the left. And again, give yourself a hug. If you choose to go more towards eagle wrap or half, you can. You don't need to. You can slide the back of your left hand to the outside of your right elbow. Good. One more breath. And then letting the arms release on down. And let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, bend the knees and come on forward into your standing forward bend. Let your next inhale help you find that flat, long back. And we'll step the right foot back to lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your downward facing dog. Let your next inhale bring you out to plank. Now, if you can from here, go on through into up dog, keeping the toes curled under. If not, don't do it. And on the exhale, we'll come back into down dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward to your lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your standing forward bend. Bend your knees, rise up. Inhaling the arms all the way out and up. And on the exhale, we're going to come forward again. Let your inhale help you find a nice flat back. Exhale, left foot back this time to lunge. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your inhale bring you to that plank. Now you can come through or not. Coming with the pelvis down, chest coming forward to an up dog. And then we'll make our way back into down dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Find your lunge. Inhale. Exhale into standing forward bend. Bend your knees, rising up. Inhaling the arms all the way up. And on the exhale, we're going to come forward again. Let your inhale lengthen out your spine. And we're going to walk into a down dog. So let your hands be just where you like. And come into down dog. Good. From here, we're going to bring our left foot forward into lunge. And now we're going to lift up to a warrior two. So you can rise on up. You can have your blocks handy there. You know that. You can turn. Once you get up, if you need to come back and turn your chair around, do so you have the back of the chair facing you. And then really line that left knee up so you really get the knee so it's not coming out beyond your toes. It's lined up over your ankle. And then from here, we'll rise our arms on up and out into warrior two arms, bringing your gaze right out over the top of that left hand. Feel like you're reaching equally through both sets of fingertips. Now, if you can, let your left heel float up just a little bit. Feel your quad. Feel that sense of releasing the outer left hip down more. And then let the heel come on back down to the floor. We're going to turn the left palm up. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Really feeling the breath come into the left ribs. And on your next exhale, come on into your side angle. So hand or forearm onto your thigh or your chair. Bringing that right arm up, if your shoulder lets you, into line with the right side of the body. Let the right pinky turn down a little bit. Feel the right shoulder releasing down away from your ear. Good. One more breath. And we're going to come on back into warrior two, pressing those feet away from each other as we come. And now we're going to find lunge, bringing our hands down, letting that right heel now release directly behind. You can have your hands on whatever surface you want, blocks or the floor or chair. And let's bring our left hand to our left hip and turn on into a little twist here. And let your hands stay on your back for a second, right there on your low back. Roll your left shoulder up. Find that sense of levelness in your hips. And then if you want to add the arm up, you can. Left arm can come straight up. Not necessary. Depends on how you want to be there, where you want your hand to be. One more breath. And then we'll bring our hand down. Now from here you can step forward into a standing forward bend, or you can come back into a down dog. That's up to you. So if you'd rather come into forward bend, do. If you want to come into down dog, do. And you can come out for a plank, move through to a back bend if you choose. Good. And then if you were doing those vinyasas, we're going to meet back in standing forward bend. So everybody come on back to the front of the mat, releasing here. And then we'll bend our knees, bring our hands to our hips. We're going to rise up and inhale the arms out and up. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward again. Let's inhale and find a long back here. And we're going to step left foot back and come into lunge. And we're going to lift up from here to find that warrior two, right? So take your time, line your heels up here, get that back foot grounded, line up that right knee. Take your time here so that you feel really easy in your legs, right? And then bring those arms on up and out and let yourself reach out through your fingertips. And feel the right heel float up a little bit. If you can, don't do that if that feels too much for your knee. You can feel that outer right hip dropping down a little bit. Feel the quad engaging a little deeper. And then bringing your heel on back down. We're going to turn the right palm up and inhale, reach up towards the sky. One more breath into the right ribs. And on the exhale, we'll come to that side angle. So your hand or your forearm can go onto your thigh. You can decide about adding that left arm up into line with that left side of the body or not. Just enjoy feeling that link through both sides of the body. And then we'll come on back into warrior two. Press the feet away from each other gently. Now we're going to find lunge. So bringing your hands down, whether it's to blocks or the chair or the floor, find that release back through that inner left heel there. And then adding that twist, right hand to the low back here. Keep it down for a second. Roll your right shoulder up. Feel that sense of levelness in your hips. And you can add the right arm up if you choose. That's up to you. You can keep the hand down. Lengthen out through the top of your head. And then we'll release to come back down. And again, you can come forward into standing forward bend, or you can come into down dog. That's up to you. If you want to do a dog and come on out to plank, you can move through chaturanga and go to a back bend, up dog or cobra, or not. You can come, you know that, you can let yourself stay in standing forward bend if you want. So finish off. If you're back in down dog, we're going to all step forward into standing forward bend. So bringing yourself to the front of your mat. And then bring your hands to your hips. We're going to inhale, rise on up. Inhale the arms all the way out. And on the exhale, we're going to fold forward again. Let your inhale help you find that long back. And we're going to step the right foot back into lunge. And this time, we're going to lift up to warrior one. So you can turn that right foot out a little bit. Bring yourself on up. Use your chair if you need it for a little support. Get your shoulders around square to the front of your mat. And then bring your hands to your heart and bow your head and look at your knee there. Make sure that you're really lined up. That knee's not trying to come inward. It's coming right over the center of the foot. You can see your toes. And then we'll release, unfold our arms down beside us. And we'll inhale the arms all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, let the arms come right back down beside you. So you're going to let your inhales rise your arms out and up. You can touch fingertips together. You can even look up. And as you exhale, the arms will lower down. So one more time, inhaling, rising those arms up. And then separate your hands if you want to separate them wider, or right above your shoulders. Coming into warrior one here now. Turn the pinkies towards each other. Let yourself feel that uplift in the front of the body. See if you can feel your feet equal in the floor. And now on your next exhale, lower your arms down. Let's interlace our fingers, clasp our hands. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward over this front leg. Maybe just your head, right? You may just want to kind of let your head bow, your shoulders release a bit. Or you may want to fold all the way over that inner thigh. That depends on you. And now arms coming off the back is another if you can do it. Letting the arms come forward with your hands clasped. And then we'll release. We're going to rise back up to warrior one. Rise yourself back up. Bring your hands to your heart again. And then from here, hands to the hips. We're going to turn our feet more parallel and come on into a wide-legged forward bend. So as you come forward, if you need your blocks, get your blocks underneath your hands. And then you can bend a knee at a time, easing your way from side to side. So let yourself get comfortable in how wide your stance is. We're attempting to get our feet pretty parallel, but I know some people need to turn their toes in or out a little bit. So you got to pay attention to how your own knees and hips feel. Good. And then finish off back at center. Now you can take your time either here, stay long with your back, use your blocks underneath your hands or your forearms out in front of you, if that feels better for you. Or you can walk your hands back more towards between your feet. So letting yourself release here into your breath. See if you can focus on the breaths evening out a little bit. So if it helps you to count, you can count when you inhale. And then think of reaching that same count when you exhale. Good. One more breath. And then we'll walk our hands back forward. So we find a long back here. And we're going to rise up. So you might want to bend your knees. Use your hands to your thighs or your hips. Rise yourself up. Bring your arms straight out from your shoulders when you get there, a little bit higher. Find a 5-pointed star here. And then we'll lower our arms on down. We're going to bring our feet more together and move around a little bit through your feet and your ankles. And we're going to come to the other side. So bringing your blocks back around if you need them. Right foot's going to come forward and left foot back. And we're going to come on up into warrior one. right? So be mindful. Remember, warrior one, shoulders are square to the short front edge of your mat. You're getting yourself easily there between the feet equal. Let your hands come to your heart. Kind of imagine zipping up from the pubic bone to the belly button, right? So you're engaged there. You don't want to just hang out and put too much pressure in your back. And you want to feel that openness in the front of the left hip. And then we'll unfold our arms. Remember, we're going to breathe and let the arms rise up as we inhale the arms out and up. And then as we exhale, we'll let the arms just flow back down beside us. Now, you can add your gaze or not. Depends on you. Inhaling the arms up. If you decide you want to look up, do. And on the exhale, the arms will come back down. We'll go again. Inhaling the arms out and up. And on the exhale, lowering back down. Now, this last time, inhaling the arms up and having the hands be apart, either hands directly over your shoulders or a wide V. Turn your pinkies towards each other. Bring that uplift here to the front of the body. Now, even if you don't look up, you can still imagine inhaling up the front of the body, exhaling down the back of your body. Beautiful. One more breath. And then we'll lower the arms on down. Interlace your fingers behind you here. We're going to fold either just the head bowing forward or folding more over the inside of that thigh and letting your head hang. Now, you can keep your hands clasped, laying on your back there, or you can think of bringing your arms off the back if your shoulders let you. So be easy with that. Be mindful. And then release the arms down. And to rise up to this warrior one, it's a lot of work. Bringing your hands to your heart. Bringing yourself back up to warrior one. And then we'll release our arms. We're going to turn our feet again more parallel for a wide-legged forward bend. And then as you come forward, ease your way. Hands to whatever support you want. Use your blocks if you want. Bend a knee at a time, too, if you need to do that to get evened out. And then walk your hands over towards the right. You can come as far as you want. You can hold the outside of your foot or your ankle if you want, or stay forward, or just shift your blocks a little bit. And then we'll come on back through center, and we're going to go the other side. Good. And then we'll come on back into center. And again, it is up to you what feels best for you in the pose, whether keeping that length of your spine, elbows above the knees can help you do that. Or maybe it feels fine to you to fold top of the head towards the floor. Hands can walk back behind if that feels good for your shoulders, to let yourself release your hands farther back behind you. Or hold your ankles, And then watch the breaths again. Even out easily. Inhaling and exhaling. Letting those inhales and exhales even out as best you can. One more breath. Now, we're going to come up. So to keep your feet the way they are if you can. Rise yourself up and bring your hands straight out from your shoulders again. A little higher than your shoulders. Reach out through the fingertips. Let yourself just enjoy. Find the sense of being as wide as you can. All the way out. And then we'll release our arms on down. You can bring your feet together however you want. Take your time. Move through your feet and your ankles a little bit. Good. And we're going to bring our mats into a wall here at the studio. So you can turn yourself into a wall. Same thing at home. If you let yourself turn into a kitchen cabinet or whatever it is that you might use, whether it's a wall or something else, kitchen counter works, especially for what we're about to do. We're going to step our right foot back, our left foot forward, our right foot back, and we're going to come into a pyramid with that back heel fully on the floor, right? The back foot is fully grounded. Both legs are straight. Now, you can be up higher with your body. You don't have to be down low, like parallel to the floor. you can still get a lot going on, feeling your thighs engaging upward by being up higher, or you can be more to where you feel like you're really got your body parallel to the floor. It doesn't make any difference as far as what benefit you get from this, whether you go lower or stay higher. Lengthening out through the spine. Feeling your thighs lifting upward. Good. Nice evenness through both sides of the body. Excellent. One more breath. Good. And then we're just going to switch legs. So just stepping the right foot forward and now switching to bring the left foot back. And getting that sense of evenness again in the hips. Zip up the low belly. Elbows hugging gently towards each other. Good. Nice full breaths. Nice. Good. And then let yourself release. And come on back towards the wall and grab yourself a block in case you need one. All right? And we're going to bring let's turn our right shoulder towards the wall and bring our block between our right foot and the wall. And it can be any height, really, that you want. We're going to cross our left thigh over our right and come into a little eagle pose here. So your toes can go on the block. You can bend your supporting knee a little bit if you are okay to do that and shift your hips back a little. You can keep your hand on the wall. If you feel like you need to stay more upright, do. You may want to bring your hands to your heart, or you may want to bring your right arm over your left. If you feel like releasing your foot off the block, not using it, you can do that. You can flex the toes up away from the block. Any of you who like to do a wrap can wrap that foot around the back of your right calf there, right? So if you feel like you want to do a wrap, go for it. Otherwise, coming to where you can be. Feel your thighs squeezing towards each other. Feel that lift up of the belly. One more breath. And then we're going to release. Come on up, and we're going to turn around. So again, take your time. Move through if you need to, anything you need to. And then again, as you cross the thigh over, you can use the block for your toes. You can flex your toes off the block and squeeze your thighs towards each other. Or you can wrap your foot around the back of that leg there, that left leg. Just remember, be mindful whether you feel like you want to do a little bit more or a little bit less, right? And again, if you want to wrap your left arm on top and do your eagle wrap, you can come into wrapping both your arms and your legs. Or you can have your hands very easily on the wall or at your heart. Good. And then we're going to release and come on back up. Good. Shake out a little bit. Move through your feet. And we're going to come down onto our mats, onto our bellies on the floor. So let yourself come on down. And come on into, I'm going to turn this way so I can see you guys. Come on into a Sphinx pose right away, where you get your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Spread your hands wide. Let your palms turn down. Let it feel good. Feel that release through the hips from what we just did. So try not to tighten up too much in the buttocks. Feel the lift of the belly, but try to release a little bit in the buttocks there. Good. And then bring your hands together. Interlace your fingers. Let's come on up either into a half forearm plank, or put your feet down and lift your knees up to a full one. Elbows hugging towards each other. Feel that sense of really releasing here. Think of your sit bones reaching down towards your heels, your belly engaging. And then come on down, and let's roll on to our right side with your right forearm still on the floor, your right elbow right underneath your shoulder. You can bring your knees forward to get yourself set up there. You've got your elbow right under your shoulder so that when you press down into that forearm, it feels okay. Now, you can do any number of things. You can stretch just your top left leg out, kind of lift up into a little bit of a variation of a side plank. Or you can do the opposite. Straighten your bottom leg out and put your left foot in front of you there, and then press in and lift up from there. If you like that variation of a side forearm plank, or you can do a full one. You can let yourself come all the way up into that full forearm plank there. Don't push it. One more breath, and then we'll release down. Come on back through center, through that Sphinx pose again. Try to even out now, because you just put a little more into that right shoulder, right? Think about evening everything out. And then we'll go the other side. So getting the left elbow right underneath your shoulder. You can make a loose fist with that left hand, whatever feels good, really. And think about a little bit of an angle. So your arm's not totally parallel to the front edge of the mat. The fist or the hand comes a little bit forward. And again, you can stay right there with your hips down. You don't have to lift up. You can stretch either leg out, the top or the bottom, or both. And you can lift up if you choose. Bringing that top hand up, straight up from your shoulder if you want to stretch the arm up. And then we'll come on down, coming back now to forearms. And again, rising into either a half forearm plank or a full forearm plank. Feel the elbows hugging towards each other. Feel your sitting bones again reaching towards your heels or your knees. Good. And then we'll release and come on down. And we're going to shift back towards pose of a child. Let yourself, again, you know, whether you want to go all the way or not. That's up to you. You can stay forward more onto your forearms. You can keep your arms overhead and soft. Or you can bring your arms back alongside your legs, letting the palms face up. Nice full breaths. Accepting those breaths in and out. Into your low back. And then we'll bring the arms forward. Let's shift back onto our forearms now. And either, you can decide, if you want to go into another half or full forearm plank, you can. Or you can go ahead and walk on up into a little dolphin pose. Whether you do this pose or not, or stay in a plank or a half forearm plank, that's up to you. So be mindful. Take your time. Let yourself feel the elbows hugging towards each other. Be with your breath. Good. And then we're going to lower our knees back down. And we're going to shift on back. See if you can just bring your legs on around in front of you from here. So just coming on around and stretching your legs on out. And take your time. Lean back onto your hands a little bit. And really just watch your feet circling around there. Both directions. When you're ready, you switch. They can go the same way if you'd rather. You know, you can do opposite or the same. Doesn't matter. And then see if you can let your feet do windshield wiper blades in and out and in and out and in and out a little bit. And then go the same way, side to side. And then just shake out. If you like to do little leg bounces, you can. You do little leg bounces, let them be easy. Good. And let's come in. Now, you can decide whether you want your left leg to stay long or not. We're going to bring the right leg in. We're going to do a little bit of heron pose. I like to fold my leg in, but some people like to keep the left leg long, right? And then shift back just a little bit so that you can hook your right arm underneath the outside of your right leg here. And so you're really kind of pulling your leg in towards you without collapsing, right? So you're pulling that right thigh in, and it's like the leg comes towards the outside of the ribs a little bit. So instead of trying to think of it coming center, really just easily this knee comes almost more towards your shoulder. And then lift the foot up. Now, if you can reach the foot, you can get the foot, right? You can hold on to the foot. You can hold on to here. If this knee bothers you, it's fine to stretch the leg out, right? So you do what feels okay for that left leg that's underneath you. And then You can decide whether coming into a straighter leg or not feels good here in your heron. It's fine to leave the knee bent. It's fine to keep your arm holding the back of the leg here. So you be where you're able to be. If you're looking up over the top of the toes and thinking that uplift in the front of the body, you might get a little more length in the spine. Good. So see if you can just release your shoulders. Feel that reach through the back of the leg. Good. And now we're going to add a little twist. So bring your left hand somewhere to the outside of either that right foot or your leg. And the leg can be lower. And then we're just going to twist towards that leg, bringing the right hand behind us, letting yourself come into twist here. Now, if you press the leg into your hand a little bit, that really fires it up a little bit more. Think about pressing into your hand with your leg, getting into the outside of the leg there. Beautiful. One more breath. And then we'll come on back into center again here now and take a breath here. Let your shoulders release down. And then go ahead and bend the knee, bring the foot back to the floor, and then just bow your head. Let yourself release here for a couple of breaths. And then we'll rise back up, and we're going to switch to bring the left knee in. Again, that right leg can be long, or you can fold the leg in to where it's comfortable for you so that when you hook your left arm behind this thigh and kind of draw the thigh in, you can lengthen up, right? And walking your hands. Again, maybe you can't get the foot. Maybe you need to hold the leg. If you can hold on to the outside of the big toe mound and the little toe mound, you can. And then just gradually thinking of extending as best you can into that long leg. But remember, it's fine to be here. It's fine to stay here and let yourself lengthen up that way. So especially if your hamstrings are tight, right? And then look up if you can. Bring your gaze up. Feel that uplift through the entire torso here as you're allowing the back of the leg to open up. Good. Stay as equal as you can in your foot, so make sure you're not rolling to the inside or the outside of that foot if you can help it. One more breath. And then the right hand comes somewhere on the outside of that left leg or foot. We're going to just bring the left hand around behind us and draw those right ribs towards that left inner thigh and lengthen upward if you can. Press the left leg gently if you can into the right hand. So you come a little more into activating the outer leg there. Good. One more breath. And then slowly come on back into center. We're going to bend this knee. Put the foot on the floor. And again, just drape yourself kind of forward over the inside of that leg. Let your head hang. Nice. And then we'll come up. And hopefully all this will make boat pose a little easier. Bringing your feet onto the floor. And then bringing your hands behind your thighs. Walk your feet back and see if you can lift your heels off the floor. But keep the balls of your feet on the floor. Now, you can interlace your fingers if you want, or you can hold your legs separately. That depends on you. And then see if you can reach to pointing your feet and letting just the tips of your toes touch. And then from there, float the feet on up and flex your feet and feel the outside edges of the big toe mounds pressing towards each other here now. Now, if you can, as you exhale, extend one leg long. Doesn't matter which one. And then when you inhale, bring it back. And then go to the other side. And then see if you can do both legs. Now, you can stay holding in boat pose right here. Extending into really the length of the spine again, like we did in here. And so you're not collapsing here in the upper body. And if you feel like you want to let go of your legs, you can. Or you can hold on to them for dear life. And you can, if you want, you can reach up to hold your ankles or your feet, right? So if you feel like it helps you to get more by coming in to holding onto your feet, you can. Good. One more breath. And now we're going to bend our knees. We're going to bring the soles of the feet towards each other and come on into Baddha Konasana. Remember, you can always have a blanket underneath you. Whether your feet are out further or the feet are in depends on how your hips are built, where it feels good for you. And then if you are okay to come forward, think of coming forward with a long back. So you don't want to just collapse immediately into this pose. If you can think of your low back leading you forward. And maybe you want to stay just a little bit forward, just like that, reaching the knees away from the midline. Or maybe you feel like it would feel really good to fold more over your legs, over towards your feet. And that's up to you. And whether your feet are like all the way connected, or some of you might want to open your feet almost like a book opening where the big toe mounds come away from each other. That is not for everybody's hips or knees. But if that feels good, instead of keeping the feet all the way together, you can like kind of open your feet like a book. And some people that opens their hips more, and some it hurts their knees. So don't do it if it doesn't feel good. Good. One more breath. And then we're going to slowly work our way up. We're going to bring our knees up and bring your feet in front of you. Separate your feet pretty wide and let your knees come over to one side. And you can switch when you want and go to the other side, just coming into feeling your quads, the front of the thighs here opening up a little bit more. You can even shift to bring your hips more forward and through a little bit if that feels good. You can take your hand off the floor and let yourself shift forward to open up a little more deeply here in your hip flexor. That's up to you. Good. And then we'll finish off. Bring ourselves on back, and we're going to come on down onto the floor. So take your time and get yourself on down onto your back on the floor. Bring your feet to the mat, and once you get there, get the feet in like you're setting up for bridge pose, but then once you get there, just do a couple little pelvic tilts. Let your exhales curl your tailbone, your sits bones up a little bit. Just ease your way into getting even between your feet. Try to relax your feet so you're not scrunching your toes up into the floor, into the mat there. And then finish off to where you're now nice neutral spine. Bring your arms down alongside you and see if you can bend your elbows. Let the palms face each other. And lift up to roll your shoulders under more. Let your elbows come in as close as you can. Now you've got your your upper back, your back off the floor. Press into the backs of your arms. And then just float your hips up because you've already got the spine off the floor. You can roll more under so that you get your shoulders more under you and your elbows closer towards each other. Or you can stretch your arms long. In your bridge pose, you can clasp your hands underneath you, lengthen your arms long. Totally up to you. Feel the inner thighs now, kind of releasing downward. And if it's too much, come down, reposition your feet. You know that. If you would rather do supported bridge, you can grab a block or two and put it underneath you. If you want to come down and press up into a full upward-facing bow pose, you can come down, bring your hands onto the floor above your shoulders, and press up a little bit if you choose. Just experiment a little bit. Remember, moving down and up is fine. Being in supported bridge is also more than fine. Now be really mindful when you're ready to come down. Take your time, bring your knees on in towards your chest. Let the knees come easily side to side. If it feels good, let your gaze turn to look away from the direction your knees are going. So you can release your neck a little bit too and your upper back there. And then come back into center. Let's bring our feet to the floor. And let's cross our right thigh on top of our left, right? So thigh over thigh. Bring your arms out beside you into a T position. And then lift your hips up. Shift them to the right 2 or 3 inches and put them down. And we'll let our knees come over towards the left. It might be just a little ways you go, or you may want to let your knees go down towards the floor. Use a block if you'd like. Put a block underneath your leg or your knee. If you like to turn to look to the left, you can. Being with your breaths now, in and out. One more nice full breath. Now when you get ready to come up, uncross whenever you feel ready to, and straighten your spine out. Get your hips back into line there. You might even want to do a couple little pelvic tilts to get yourself evened out there too. And then we'll bring our left thigh on top of our right. Thigh on top there. Woman cross-legged. Lift your hips, shift them to the left 2 or 3 inches and put them down. And then your knees will come over to the right. You can turn your head to look to the left if that feels comfortable to you. Again, then use a block if you need underneath your leg, your knee, whatever feels good. And if there's any kind of tension involved here, come back out of it, readjust, right? Good. Nice, easy breaths. So try to let this be a very relaxed twist where you're just letting your breath come in and go out. You're able to release into the twist. One more breath. And then bring yourself on back. And again, uncross. Bring your knees on in towards your chest here now. If a little bit of a happy baby pose sounds like a good idea, by all means do it. Maybe you'd even rather do another Baddha Konasana like we did seated with the soles of your feet together. Or perhaps you want to stretch your legs long. Do a little bit of a wide angle. Just let the body do whatever it needs to do right now. If you feel like doing a plow pose, do a plow pose. If you feel like coming into any other movement, any other stretch, any other pose. And then as we think about coming into Shavasana, there's any number of things that I can bring you to help you be comfortable. So I will look for hands. If a bolster sounds like a good idea. If you need a blanket, let me know. For your head, same thing at home. If you feel when you lie out that your chin lifts up, you feel tightness, by all means, do what you need to do to get comfortable. You can always put a roll blanket underneath your knees if your back or your hips feel iffy. And just watch your breath now. Let yourself watch the waves of your breath coming in and going out. And maybe it helps you just to think the word in when you inhale and the word out when you exhale. That helps you focus, or if counting your breaths helps you focus on the breath. So that when your mind wanders off, coming back to the breath, whatever helps you do that. And giving your body and your brain these few minutes to find a quieter place. Giving yourself time to benefit from all you just did. And allowing yourself to completely and fully relax. gradually now start to allow your breaths to come in and go out more fully, more deeply again. Feeling the belly rising and falling a little bit as you inhale and exhale. Letting those deeper breaths start to bring you back, refresh you into wanting to move again, fingers and toes, hands and feet, and stretching into the arms, the legs, however feels good to you. So letting yourself come into the extremities, doing what you need to do, whether it's to draw your knees up and in or stretch your arms or your whole body. You may even want to let your head roll a little side to side. Just take your time. Be easy. You know you're welcome to stay on your back. You're welcome to roll onto either your right or your left side. If coming into a soft fetal position on one side is easy to give your brain and body time to adjust a little bit, then do that. And when you feel all right to rise up to sitting, see if you can let your head be the last thing that comes up so that you start to adjust yourself into sitting comfortably for your hips and legs, and then you just start to kind of grow up through your spine, letting your head be the last thing that comes to float up there on top. Let your hands release to where it feels comfortable for your shoulders. Eyes gently closed. Come back to be with your breath again. And on your next exhale, bring your hands gently to meet there in front of your chest, in front of your own heart. And wishing each one of you a very joyful day. Namaste. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Haven't said that in a while.